just say we have a needle for a shot. Okay, not too bad, right? But if I go and take out a knife and stab you with it continuously, like we shouldn't have a tolerance for that. This is totally different, right? The shot is to help you, right? To continue or make sure that you're healthy. And then I'm taking out this knife, which pokes and pricks your flesh as well, but it's to harm you. You know, these are two different things.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Theodore Campbell, one half of Unadulterated Youth, and this is my partner.
Hey, I'm Bianca, and thanks for coming back through to watch us on Unadulterated Youth.
Yeah, we got another. I think this is going to be more of a debate. I have a question because this is something that I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And Bianca say that I'm too rough or I'm too over the top with this. And maybe some of you would agree. But the question I want to know is, how much tolerance should you have for people? I mean, we go through
an easy answer.
I mean, just think about it. We
you
go through
the easy answer.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Because you about to try to play your case, and I'm just gonna shut it down right here. I'm gonna pull the pastor out 70 times 7.
What you said?
70 times 7. That's how much.
You pulling the Bible out now?
That's all I know.
Oh Lord. Well, 70 times 7.
Yeah.
So do you forgive people 70 times 7? If you could be honest with yourself.
So my thing is this. I am a very forgiving person, actually. I don't know about the 70 times 7, but nobody's wronged me 70 times. So I'm a very, very forgiving person. And maybe I feel like that's my downfall a lot of times. So I struggle with that. I don't see you being a 70 times 7 person. But honestly and truly, it's a struggle for me because in the end, I'm like, I shouldn't have given that person that much leeway. I shouldn't continue to give that person because it really ends up backfiring on me. So then again, forgiveness and actually letting that person into your space or continue to wrong you, I think are two different things. And I kind of muddy the area right there because I kind of continue to interact with some people that don't necessarily deserve that.
You pretty much just gave my answer I was about to give. Like it's a difference between forgiving somebody and letting somebody walk all over you.
Mm-hmm. So when I gave you that answer, it may not be correct 70 times 7 because tolerance, everybody's going to get fed up. Period. It's only so much that you as an individual can take.
Exactly.
But I will to save you. I think you're a really patient person. I've witnessed that part, and then you just get tired.
Well, my whole thing is this, like the Bible, and I think I said this in another video, but it's like God commands us to love people, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a difference between loving and liking somebody. Yeah. I could like loving you could be okay. You're laying on the floor. I'm gonna check to make sure you didn't break nothing when you fell. Are you okay? But that doesn't mean I want to go out and have pizza with you or spend time, invite you to my house with my family and all that. So it's like there's boundaries, there's limits.
Yeah, well, sometimes there are cases where you still have to invite the person to your house. Say if it's Thanksgiving or Christmas and all of the restaurants are closed and you don't necessarily like the person, but for love, you want to be sure that they're eating. So you may have to bring them to your house.
Maybe, in a very extreme circumstance.
Yeah, yes. So sometimes, I'm just saying, sometimes you do have to take that person in a little closer than you would prefer taking them in. But for me, a lot of times it's voluntary. I'm gonna be honest. It's not like, oh, I had to do it. So a lot of times we need to kind of get control of our emotions or our feelings in the middle of that. Oh, I'm just gonna be all roses and rainbows or sunshine, whatever, because everybody's not gonna treat you that way, you know.
Exactly.
And so a lot of times that can be like something that changes who you are because you allow people to continue to step on you. So the tolerance is kind of like a boundary. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, I gotta reference my one person I watch a lot, Ron Carpenter. It's like when you learn the nature of a thing, certain things doesn't affect you or surprise you anymore. Like if I went out and adopted a dog and the dog is barking, he's a dog. That's what dogs do. So when I'm looking at people, overall, people tell lies. Overall, people are selfish. Overall, people might put themselves in front of everybody or have pride and stuff like that. So when I'm dealing with individuals, it's like, okay, that's in your human nature to act that way. And depending on your maturity level, on pretty much on how much you allow yourself to just do whatever you want, or acting in love or being selfless to other people. But sometimes, me knowing your human nature, I have to take a step back and say, that person is not at that place yet. So I only can put so much faith in that person. I may still love you as a person, or let's say ministry and stuff. I love your gift or appreciate your gift and what you bring to the table. But as far as being on a personal level with you, I can't do that because you're not there.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned being selfless and acting in love. Number one, we need to know how to love ourselves first to even be able to demonstrate any sort of love to another individual. So a lot of times it is a lack of self love or fully realizing a love for yourself that you continue to allow someone else to step on you. And that's something that we all, I'm not just me, because I love myself, but think about the extent of love that you should have for yourself, not to allow yourself to continue to be a doormat, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? So exactly. I'm glad that you brought up the selflessness. It's really it shouldn't be it's not you shouldn't be selfless. I don't think. Okay. I think that the only way I can demonstrate real love to another individual is to love myself. Okay. Now, a lot of times we get it twisted, and I've heard, a lot of times, in religion or whatever, that you should just lay yourself down for everybody who wants to walk over you. But I don't subscribe to that.
Yeah.
Do you? No, I can't.
I do to some degree, because if I really do feel, if you really truly love somebody, you will put them in front of you. Like the only example I can think of, because I'm single, is my son. Like literally, if I'm hungry right now and all I got is this one plate of food right here, we already know who's gonna get it. It's him. All right,
so let's make the point. Food, feeding your child. Mm-hmm. So you do know what it is to be hungry, whether or not you had the money to get food or not. Sometimes you have been in a situation where you've been hungry, right? And so you don't want your child to experience that necessarily. So you're going to feed the child, right?
Yeah.
But remember, you had to deal with it first. You had to actually experience that first. So it's still, having love enough to know, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that to go on somebody, but you had to experience the hunger first. You know what I mean? So you had to feed yourself somewhere in there, maybe back down the line, and you experience hunger. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that the way we treat other people is how we treated ourselves first.
Okay.
So if you're a person Let me give you a good sign. It's people that fast often. It may not be for a spiritual reason or whatever, but they fast so often that they forget to eat. They don't even crave food anymore. And guess what? A lot of times those children go lacking because why are you hungry? I'm not hungry.
Oh, got you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They're depriving their body, so they deprive somebody else too. Is that not true?
That's true.
Yeah, so that's the kind of point I'm trying to make about that. We have to be able to love ourselves first to be able to even demonstrate that type of love to another individual. And I'm gonna just make this point. I don't know because I don't know if we're getting off topic of we're talking about tolerance, right? So, but I want to make this point while we're kind of on the love thing. I heard a lady, I can't remember her name, but she said, that lady said that people say, "Oh, you're selfish because all you think about is yourself. You should think about me more." And she was like, "Well, isn't that selfish?"
Yeah.
that I'm telling you to think about me more than you think about yourself. I mean, that's a huge point, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it does tie into tolerance because again, it sets the boundaries, the perspective that some things you just can't cross when it comes to either taking care of yourself. Should you take care of your home first, your bills and everything before you send me some money to take care of my bills?
Definitely.
If I needed something, do you think you should take care of your home first?
Of course, yeah.
Remember when you I think it was a thing, maybe you sent it to me. It's been so long ago. I'm not sure if it was you, but it was something someone asked a homeless man how did he get homeless, and he said he used all those bricks that he had to give to others, to provide for others, and left his stuff lacking.
Oh.
Okay. So a lot of times we have to be careful with the tolerance and the boundaries that people are willing to cross at your expense. Mm-hmm. At your expense, So there's nothing wrong with like loving yourself enough to draw those lines.
Well, I think the whole conversation got started because of pretty much you always clown me on how quick I'm willing to let somebody go or not deal with a person so much. And it may come off rough because anytime something ends, it usually doesn't seem like on a good note because you would figure if the two individuals are in a good place that the relationship wouldn't be ending. But again, it goes back to that tolerance. Me, I'm at the point where I'm 36 years old. I've lived a little bit. I'm not old, but I know me. I know my tolerance. I know my lifestyle. I know what I bring to the table. I know pretty much what makes me tick. So when I'm dealing with people, whether it comes to work or friendships or dating and all that, I kind of know what makes me tick. So it's like you kind of get to a point in time, it's like where I don't want to waste time.
Yeah, and then knowing too that sometimes people just don't recognize boundaries, and that's where the line has to be drawn. But the fact that you are able to cut it off would, to me, signify that you do love yourself enough to not take yourself the wrong
exactly.
way. And so I hope that doesn't reflect that I don't love myself enough. It's just me and you. We got a different tolerance level, and that's all it is to it. Because I love myself. But I will tell you, over time, love for yourself will grow. Like you got to invest that time into yourself and get to know, what are your boundaries? What are your expectations? What are your likes and your dislikes? Know that about yourself so that you don't subject yourself to these types of situations or people or relationships or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and let me just make one thing clear.
To know about yourself.
Let me make one thing clear. And now I can't speak for everybody because everybody's different. But I know when it comes to me, just because I cut you off or I choose not to deal with you in a certain fashion, that doesn't mean I hate you. That doesn't mean I don't like you. That doesn't mean I have a problem with you. Again, I just understand that where I'm going in life and where you're going don't match, or we don't click on that certain level.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just gotta move on from that situation because what me and you bring together is there's no fruit being produced.
Yeah, that's huge. And the quicker that you can draw that line, the better or the faster you will progress individually. And like it's no love lost, there's no feelings in it necessarily, you know, or actually maybe there are feelings, you know, I didn't want to have to let you go like that, or I am saddened by it, but at the same time, I understand that this has stagnated me, or this is hurting or harmful to me, or you know, my livelihood, my situation. It could be a lot of things that
Oh yeah.
hinder, you know. So yeah, tolerance is something to consider. It seems negative that sometimes our tolerance is really low, but to leave you guys with something, think about pain. You know, if somebody does something to you, or somebody's stabbing you, or you know, or just say we have a needle for a shot. Okay, not too bad, right? But if I go and take out a knife and stab you with it continuously, like we shouldn't have a tolerance for that. This is totally different, right? The shot is to help you, right? To continue or make sure that you're healthy. And then I'm taking out this knife, which pokes and pricks your flesh as well, but it's to harm you. You know, these are two different things, and we need to know how to differentiate and have some discernment and say, hey, no, you're not gonna stab me. I thought you were gonna give me a shot. You know, that type of thing. So
I got another example actually. The other day, me and my son was playing, right? And as you know, but the viewers don't know. My son is 6 years old, so he's a young little boy. He loves to play, right? So he pulls out these little toy swords and he wants to play sword fight. Okay, so we're supposed to pretend we're hitting each other. Mm-hmm. This little boy is having so much fun. He just swinging and just popping me. Bang, 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 bang. So after a while, I had to say, you know, after I asked him, no, we need to play, not really hit each other, but he's having so much fun, he's not realizing what he's doing. Yeah. He's not hitting me on purpose, but he doesn't realize because he's having so much fun that he's actually hitting me and it's hurting. So at some point I had to say, okay, Aiden, we need to put these swords away. Now I could look in his face and tell he was a little disappointed because he wanted to play, but I had to, even though I love him and I want him to have fun, I had to protect myself because I'm not going to sit here and let him keep hitting me and I'm going through all this pain and he almost poked my eye out, you know, with the sword. Yeah. So I had to make a decision to say, I love you, I want to keep on playing, but we might have to go play something else because you may not realize you're hurting me, but you are.
Yeah, and that's big. And you know, you and I, we're talking about right now some physical pain, but the truth is a lot of stuff that takes place is emotional. And and so people say things, people do things that it may not be intentional and may very well be, but it's taking place in your mind, and that's debilitating. That's hurtful. You know, that could take years to get over that type of abuse. So it is important to recognize how much you can tolerate. Tolerance is not a bad word. You know, you just need to recognize where to draw the line, because we're trying to prevent having to have years and years worth of therapy or go back years and years from what so-and-so did to you or whatever so-and-so said to you. Just draw the line. It may be hurtful, you know, not to deal with that person on that same level anymore. You know, somebody's going to have some feelings about it, I understand, but it's for the greater good. Exactly. So yeah, this is a good topic. I'm glad there's a lot of things that we kind of talked about that I didn't even think about would be covered, but you know, all glory to God for giving us the words that we needed to talk or to say right now. And I hope that it was able to reach all of you, you know, to some extent. So if so, please feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell them where they can follow us, Teddy.
Well, we pretty much on all social media platforms. We got Instagram. You could check us out at Unadulterated You on Instagram. We do got a Facebook page too, right now.
Of course.
We're supposed to go live on there. We lacking on there, people.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we didn't go live lately. We've been having a lot of work to do apparently, and also
personal stuff.
Tonight, we could have went live, but I think that it's more meaningful just to kind of discuss these topics like we did tonight. So we'll get back with you guys live on Facebook shortly. We don't know the day, but as soon as we know, we will let you guys know.
And remember, we encourage people to comment because like everything that we say ain't always, it's a lot of times it's our opinion. We like to hear other people's perspective. And plus we want you to hit us up and let us know what topics you want to talk about. It's not just about what's on our brains.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear that. Just like we had a guest recently, my pastor, and I was so happy to have, another perspective. And it really did shed light on some things. So if you guys want to join in or be a part of our videos or whatever, just send us an email at unadulteratedU@gmail.com. And we'll be happy to hear from you. Until next time.
Y'all be blessed.